Hi guys, welcome back. First of all, if you predicted I was going to create this video today, leave a comment in the comment section, right, saying, Sassy, I called it. Called it meaning that you predicted I was going to create a video on this. I would love to see how many of you were expecting this video from me. Yes, you may have heard the amazing, in quotation, news about England scrapping the pre-departure testing requirement. It is not a hoax, it's real, and it's coming into effect tomorrow, 4 a.m., the 7th of January, 2022. This change applies to fully vaccinated travelers globally, not just Nigerians. Let's just hope that Nigerian in the long term follows suit so that we don't have to be paying so much with regard to pre-departure testing. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you what specifically are the new rules for traveling to England, UK from Nigeria, and also specifically how it affects Nigerian travelers, or should I say travelers flying from Nigeria. I want to add a bit of a, I don't want to dampen your excitement, but I pretty much want to say that Nigerians globally shouldn't necessarily be happy about this news, because unfortunately some of you out there are still going to have to do that pre-departure test, irrespective of the fact that the UK said you don't. Watch on to get all the tea on this. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Sassy Funke and I'm a Nigerian travel and lifestyle content creator, really creating to help Nigerians navigate travel better and smarter. So if you're out there looking to just understand what's going on a little bit more with regard to changing COVID protocols and general travel news, and flight reviews from time to time, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Trying to get to 100,000 subscribers, you can make it happen. Click subscribe and give this video a huge thumbs up. So let's get straight into this video. I think first things first, let's hear it from the horse's mouth, right? This announcement that was made yesterday by Boris Johnson. I'm going to play the video for you right now.
But thanks to the sheer size of the Omicron wave, we still need to take steps to ensure our testing capacity reaches those who need it most. So we will be suspending the need to do a PCR to confirm the result of a positive lateral flow test. From next Tuesday in England, if you test positive on a lateral flow device, you should just record that result on gov.uk and begin self-isolating. Mr. Speaker, our balanced approach also means that where specific measures are no longer serving their purpose, they will be dropped. So when the Omicron variant was first identified, we rightly introduced travel restrictions to slow its arrival in our country. But now Omicron is so prevalent, these measures are having limited impact on the growth in cases while continuing to pose significant costs to our travel industry. So I can announce that in England from 4 a.m. on Friday, we will be scrapping the pre-departure test, which discourages many from travelling for fear of being trapped overseas and incurring significant extra expense. We will also be lifting the requirement to self-isolate on arrival until receipt of a negative PCR, returning instead to the system we had in October last year, where those arriving in England will need to take a lateral flow test no later than the end of day 2, and if positive, a further PCR test to help us identify any new variants at the border. Mr. Speaker, all these measures are balanced and proportionate ways of ensuring we can live with COVID without letting our guard down. And we can only do this thanks to the biggest and fastest booster campaign in Europe. But lockdowns are not cost-free. They impose a devastating toll on our physical...
That is pretty much the news. He's shared other specific news, which I'm also going to dive into, right? But yes, starting tomorrow, pre-departure tests are not going to be required for travelers that are fully vaccinated. It's key to note that. So what I'm going to do right now is actually, okay, before I even continue, essentially what he's saying is that these pre-departure tests are not having an effect on the number of cases in the UK, because right now I feel the UK is having like tens of thousands of cases every day that are not even linked to travel sometimes, right? So that's the reason why they're saying they're scrapping it. Like, let me know in the comments section if you believe that, or you feel it's just a sense of saying, you know what, we need to make more money. We can't, like, do you believe that it's more scientific or it's more commercial why they're saying that, you know what, people can come in, like it's fine. Let me know in the comment section below. So what I'm going to do right now is actually talk specifically on the information that's given on the government website with regard what is going to happen to travelers that are fully vaccinated and travelers that are unvaccinated or partially vaccinated, right? With regard to this, you know, this rule, does it apply? That's what I'm going to be sharing now. Okay, so on the government website, it states this. It said changes to rules for the fully vaccinated travel to England, January 2022. It says from 4 a.m. Friday, the 7th of January, if you qualify, so keep to note, are fully vaccinated for travel to England, and you will arrive to England after 4 a.m. on Friday, the 7th of January, you do not need to take a COVID-19 test before you travel to England or quarantine when you get to England, right? So you don't have to take a COVID test and you don't have to quarantine, right? It then goes on to share that from 4 a.m. on Sunday, the 9th of January, it states this: if you qualify as fully vaccinated for travel to England and you arrive in England after 4 a.m. on Sunday, the 9th of January, you can choose to take a lateral flow test instead of a PCR after you arrive in England. Cheaper, thank goodness. If you take a lateral flow test and test positive, you will need to self-isolate and take a free PCR test. It's key to note this, that there's no additional cost burden beyond the lateral flow test that you probably have to book, right? It then says that you must book the test, like this lateral flow test, before you travel to England, right? You can book the lateral flow test from 4 a.m. Friday, the 7th of January. You cannot use a lateral flow test until after 4 a.m. Sunday, the 9th of January, right? Before 4 a.m. Sunday, the 9th of January, you must use a PCR test after arrival, if you understand what that means. It states the fully vaccinated rules also apply to children age 17 and under, people taking part in an approved vaccine trial, and people who are unable to have a vaccination due to medical reasons, right? I'll link this below. So now let's talk about tomorrow, Friday, the 7th of January 2022. If you've not been fully vaccinated, right, what is the rule? It states here, before you travel to England, if you're not fully vaccinated, right, it states before you travel, you have to take a COVID-19 test to be taken in the 2 days prior to travel to England. So bear this in mind, Nigerian travelers or whoever is traveling to the UK, not just Nigerians. If you've not been fully vaccinated, you still need to take a COVID-19 test. Important to know that it doesn't have to be PCR. Key to note here, they didn't specifically say PCR. It also then states that you still have to book and pay for your day 2 and day 8 COVID-19 PCR tests to be taken after arrival in England. This stays the same. Also states that you have to complete a passenger locator form. When you arrive in England, if you've not been fully vaccinated, what should you know? That after you arrive in England, you must quarantine at home or in the place you're staying for 10 days and take the COVID-19 PCR test that you've booked, right? He then talks a little bit more about, what you do if you're positive or negative. I won't dive into that. I'll share this link so that you can specifically jump into that yourself, right? But this part is probably the most interesting. I think the part that Nigerians need to pay attention to, right? You may not be aware, but in the most recent, I'm going to try and pull this up right now. In the most recent protocols that were shared by Nigeria with regard to coming into the country, leaving the country, Nigeria actually stated, you can check this out on the nitp.ncdc.gov.ng site, where it states the COVID-19 response protocol for travelers arriving in Nigeria. When you scroll to the bottom right, it states this clearly. I'm going to pop this up because it's really important. It states guidelines for outbound passengers. Nigeria has a guideline for outbound passengers, people leaving the country. It states here, all passengers traveling out of Nigeria are required to provide 1, evidence of a full COVID-19 vaccination, right? Or a negative COVID-19 PCR test done no longer than 48 hours before departure, right? This protocol comes into effect on the 5th of December 2021. So most people actually are not aware of this rule, but Nigeria has a protocol, like a requirement for you leaving the country. You might, yeah, that's just the reality of it, right? So what does this mean with regard to going to England, right? If you've been fully vaccinated, essentially, it's fine, right? It's fine because you fill Nigeria's requirement, and also when you get to the UK, you fill that requirement, so you're not required to do a PCR test, right? The only people that will be required to do a PCR test is if you've not been vaccinated, right? You have to do a PCR test. So because it's a Nigerian requirement, even though the UK, if you remember, or England states that you can do, you have to do a COVID test, which could be a lateral flow or any other PCR test. You can't. If you're not, you have to do a PCR test because Nigeria stipulated that unvaccinated people essentially need to do a COVID-19 PCR test before they can leave the country. Yeah, so that is, you know, Nigerians or travelers from Nigeria, not just Nigerians, if you've been fully vaccinated, this whole news by the UK is an amazing news. It works. It favors you. If you've not been fully vaccinated, unfortunately, you're going to have to fork out that approximately 50,400 naira or so pre-departure test that you need to take. So guys, oh my god, such a mouthful. I really hope this video has been really useful and really like sort of demystified, or is it demystified, or just made it easier to understand the new protocols. I guess it's made you understand sort of like the England's sort of removing the whole pre-departure test and exactly how it affects you, either as a fully vaccinated traveler or a partially unvaccinated traveler. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like, let me know in the comment section if you enjoyed the video, and if you made it to the end of this video. I've not done this in a while, guys. Just say, you know, also, Sassy, I made it. I made it here. Sassy, I made it. I want to see you guys in the comment section below. And yeah, let me know, do you like my new hair? You know, I was like, let me switch it up for you guys. 2022. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate your love and support, and I will see you on my next video.